Hey, what's happening, guys? Hey, we're going to be installing the Gigliotti trigger for the TP9. Just as an FYI, again, this is my TP9. This has been SBR'd, so again, nobody can freak out. I do have the suppressor for it. The gun is unloaded. I think what we're going to start with is one, just kind of showing how bad the trigger actually is on this gun. We'll go into a disassembly based on the instructions from Gigliotti themselves, and then we'll go into the installation. I did get some of the suggested tools that they mentioned in their install and uninstall guide. We'll kind of test them out and see what seems to work best, and we'll go from there. Hey guys, I'm using a Timney trigger pull scale here. This goes up to 10 pounds. I've already done a few tests of this, just as an FYI. When you see this, it's actually going to go over 10 pounds, so I don't have the exact weight of the trigger pull, but just know that it is over 10 pounds. So for anybody that's wondering, like, why the TP9 trigger sucks, well, this is why. So let's just turn this around here so you can kind of see. There's the needle right here. It's past 10 pounds, so it's looks like it's somewhere around 11 pounds maybe. We'll give it another try just to see. Again, hopefully you can kind of see that. Trying to rotate that, but same thing there. It's about the same distance. I'd say it's again 10 and a half, 11 pounds. Try one more time. Same thing there, about 11 pounds. All right, sorry for the dirty gun, but we're going to try to go ahead and get started on the uninstall based on Gigliotti's instructions here. So first thing they were basically wanting us to do is take out this trigger spring right here. It's hooked onto the front. There's a little latch there. You just kind of pull up on. They're suggesting using either some needle nose pliers, some forceps. This or some forceps that I had. We'll go ahead and give that a shot just to see how well that works. So basically, with the forceps, the big thing is just you want to probably grab it around the actual loop here in the front, and it's recessed in a little bit of a notch in there. So you just want to kind of pull forward a little bit, and then it just slowly like pulls up, so releases. So not terrible, but um, I think I'm not sure about the pliers. I think the pliers would have worked just as fine too. But again, like I said, now that this is hopefully out, and I don't know how great the light is, but again, that front notch, that's the big thing where you want to grab that and not the spring. Grab the notch, pull forward a little bit, and then it'll just lift right out of the channel. So that's step one. Okay, step two, I'm not sure how well this will come up on here. I'll try to lighten it up if I need to, but just kind of, I'm gonna use the forceps right here. There's a little bolt catch latch that just needs to lift it up and off of where it's at right now. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'm just going to kind of set this back down so I can get easy access to it. There it is. It's off. So again, forceps, pliers probably would work either way. It doesn't really matter. But just slowly lift up and then pull off. Doesn't take much force. That's much easier than the first one. All right, guys, step three, we're going to, they're suggesting using a blade or screwdriver to carefully lift up the feed ramp and remove. So I'm going to grab a flathead screwdriver, and on their instructions, they're basically showing it coming in from this direction and kind of, like they said, slowly lift up. And yeah, honestly, that was pretty easy. And they said set aside. Okay, we're on to step four. I'm just going to kind of spin this a little bit. This is going to be a little bit hard because it's dirty. But again, if you're following their instructions, looking at the back of the gun, there's a little C-clip right here. And their suggestion is to kind of flip it around so that the notch opening is on the top. So that way you should be able to just push down and it'll come off a lot easier. And then, you shouldn't lose it because the worst case, it'll just go down into um, the chassis, and then you could just pull it out from there. So again, not sure how well that'll come up on view. If not, I'll try to lighten it up or again, insert a picture. But we're going to go ahead and probably try flathead screwdriver first just to see. There's a little clip. Again, probably would have been easier with a dedicated tool and stuff like that. Um, but again, hopefully you can kind of see that. There's the little clip. We'll just set that off to the side as well. Okay, so then the next step is to remove the pin right here. Pushes out from this side, the left side, out the right. So we'll go ahead and try to do that now. Okay. So just pop it out with, or get it started with a pin or a punch. And then just once it's get enough out there, you just kind of have to play around with this block right here just to kind of allow it to slowly drop or push free. So we'll go ahead and set that to the side. All right, so we're going to try to take this trigger bow out, or trigger arm and bow out. This is, I think, what's considered the most complicated portion of it, because you kind of have to look at how there's a uh, little arm or something here that kind of flexes on the hammer. And if you look at the trigger arm, there's like a little bit of an indentation where it fits right. So you kind of want to get it to that spot. But I mean, you have to be very careful with this. So what you really want to do is just get it kind of in that spot and then just slowly pull out until it pops loose. So we're going to kind of try to do that here now. And there, it just popped right out. So pretty simple. And then now your whole trigger bow assembly just pops right out. Okay. Apologize for losing some of the footage. My hard drive got a little bit filled up on my phone, but so a couple of things, the all the sears and stuff like that, that are in here. The easiest thing to do, I mean, if you have it, like get some of these little hooks or something like that from Harbor Freight or whatever, but you just kind of like lift up on it on the back, and it'll just pop right off these little nubs here. Honestly, pretty easy. So at this point, I'm ready to go for the install of their trigger. I'm going to get this actually cleaned up. It's really dirty. All right, guys, the time is actually here. We've got the Gigliotti. Again, apologize for naming. I'm going with Gigliotti. So I'm going with that. So the TP9 short stroke trigger kit finally came in. I've got it here. Again, this is kind of the box that it came in. Says a lifetime warranty. Okay, go ahead and open up. They already had some pictures on their Instagram, so should be pretty straightforward. Looks like we've got a couple stickers here. Old school Mr. Yuck. Okay. Couple stickers. Okay, so we've got supplied Allen keys. Okay. We've got the, looks like the new trigger bow. Just kind of see here. I guess we could pull this trigger off here. Let me do that. I have to get some gloves on here pretty quick, so you can kind of see that it looks like definitely changed the profile here a little bit. Definitely changed the profile in the back. Definitely changed some stuff here in the middle. So definitely a change to the trigger arm. We'll take a look at the trigger bow. There's your flat face trigger. Obviously that would join in like that. We'll reuse some of the springs from the old setup. And then I guess the reality is, okay, so there's the couple of the screws that go into the frame. Set those aside. And I would say this is the real major component that will make this hopefully significantly better than the current setup. So that's the key there. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to just pull these things out of here, set them aside, and then we'll go ahead and get started on the installation. All right, kind of just reading through the instructions on the install. The first thing it says, put the safety into fire position, which is already done. And then we're going to place the short stroke trigger housing into the receiver. So I'm going to go ahead and get this set up here. These two little, let's see here, yeah. So these two little openings, they're going to go into these two plastic posts right here. All right, just as a future update, so I'm going to redo part of this section here. So if you have the TP9N model, in one of the steps, they show this little piece here. You actually have to remove it from your trigger housing. It's usually on this side right over here. And all you do is just pull in on these pins. It's spring loaded. And when you do that, I'm trying to see which side it is here, but there. So you just pull that and it'll come out. But it's spring loaded. You do that, then they forgot to mention in the instructions, but they're going to update it. But this little piece, if you have the N model, needs to be taken out of this device or this module. Otherwise, you're going to run into issues. So we're going to come back to resuming. So it should be like that. There's that spring goes in the notch on there. I'm going to try to get this installed. This should. Got to kind of eventually line all these things up here, but this goes in like in there. All right, so that's in. And then once that's down, they say to install the small side pin first. Okay, so, and they say basically only partially start it. Okay, it's partially started. And we'll go over to this side. Partially started. Okay, so, all right, so what we're going to do is a function check. We grab the spring. And they said don't over tighten them. So just getting them in there. All right, let me just do a function check one more time. Okay, all right. Safety up, won't work. And that works. Okay. All right, so that's good. Now we just got, let me turn this around. This little latch here. We're going to install our trigger block. So we're going to put this back in. You'll want to make sure you just kind of go down in first with that portion. Line it in, snap it down, and then this little latch here just goes up on top there, so your bolt catch and release works. So, all right, so that's that part. I'm going to go ahead and get the upper ready to go, and we'll get that installed. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to get this installed. Again, just a front part goes on first. Okay, back part, got your little plunger back here. Kind of still have to hold that in. Push in on that. The back should snap in. Just give it a nice good tap. Okay, function check. Cycles, that's good. All right, let's test the safety. And doesn't work, that's good. Let's put it on fire. And it works. Let's test. It works. 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 Okay, that works. Safety check works again. All right, we're going to do a trigger test here to see what the weight of the trigger pull is after the install. All right, so you guys see that. Broke at just slightly over 5 pounds. Try it again. Again, slightly, it's about 5 pounds and a quarter. Try again, one last time. £5 and a quarter. So basically, the factory trigger pull, like I said, if you go back to our video, it was over 10 pounds, somewhere around the neighborhood of 11. So at 5.5 pounds or 5.25 pounds, you're under half the trigger weight of the factory trigger. So not too bad.